This is a short video presentation on solving systems of equations by elimination once more. Yesterday, we looked at solving by multiplying one of the equations by some number so that when we added the equations together, we would be able to eliminate a variable. That doesn't always work, and sometimes we have to do something else. So let's look at this example right here. All right, we have 3y plus 5 equals negative 2x, and negative 4 plus 5x equals negative 2y. I'm now going to put these in the proper order, and it's just like standard form, except we don't worry if the leading coefficient is negative. So I'm going to add 2x to both sides. 2x plus 3y equals, and I'm going to subtract 5, negative 5. I have 5x. I'm going to add 2y to both sides. And then I'm going to add 4 to both sides. All right. Now, there's no number that I can multiply 2 by to get 5, or 2 by here to get 3 without involving fractions. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply the top equation and the bottom equation by some number. Oftentimes, we can take this number right here and multiply it by this number. I can take the 2, multiply it by 3 for this equation, and I can take this 3 and multiply it by this 2 for this equation. Or I could multiply this by 5, because of this 5, and this one by 2, ending up with 10. Now, I want to have one number coefficient positive, one negative, so I'm going to multiply this by negative 2. And I show the numbers above my arrow, and I always put a little circle around them, or almost always, just so I know what I'm multiplying by. And remember, you are distributing it to this, this, and to that on both equations. So we end up with negative 4x minus 6y equals a positive 10, and for the bottom equation we end up with 15x plus 6y equals 12. My y's cancel. We made it happen. And negative 4 plus 15, I lost my x right here. Negative 4x plus 15x gives me 11x equals 10 plus 12, 22. Divide both sides by 11, and I get x equals 2. Now, I have 6 different equations. I have 2 right here, 2 here, 2 here. Doesn't matter which 2 you use, you are going to get the same answer. I'm going to take this equation right here, and I am going to find out what y is. So I have 5 times my x is 2 plus 2y equals 4. Subtract 10 from both sides. 5 times 2 is 10. And I get 2y equals negative 6. Divide by 2. And I'm running out of space here. And y is equal to negative 3. My answer then is the ordered pair 2, negative 3. All right, let's look at one more example. Just to go over what we did first, though, we rearranged our terms in standard form xy equals my number. Then I multiplied both equations by something in order that we could eliminate, in this case, our y's. All right, next equation is 35y minus 80 equals 10x, and 6y minus 27 minus 15x equals 0. All right, I'm going to put them in standard form. Subtract 10x, standard form except that we have a leading coefficient that's negative, plus 35y equals, add 80 to both sides, 80. Over here, negative 15x, and plus 6y equals, I add 27 to both sides, equals 27. Now, oftentimes we can simplify things, and you should always look for this. We can divide both sides here, 10, 35, and 80, we can divide by 5. And here we can divide by 15 goes divided by 3, 6 divided by 27 divided by 3. We can divide by 3. When I do that, I get negative 2x plus 7y equals 16, and negative 5x plus 2y equals 9. All right, slide over here. Now, I've simplified the equations so that they're easier to work with. Now I have a choice. I can multiply the bottom by 7, the top by 2, or I can multiply this by 2 and this by 5. But I'm dealing with smaller numbers than I would have. Here I would have multiplied by 15 and 10, or 6 and 35. Of course, I divided by 5. Now I'm going to multiply by 5. Oh well. And here I'm going to multiply by a negative 2. Negative because I want my signs to be opposite. So now I have, back to red, I have negative 10x plus 35y equals 80. And I have positive 10x, negative times negative is positive, minus 4y equals negative 18. And I end up with 31y, my x is canceled, equals 62. Divide both sides by 31. Y is equal to 2. You can figure out the rest on your own. Let's slide back over here. Well, I'll probably use this equation. We found out that y is 2, so we have negative 5x plus 2 times 2 equals 9, negative 5x, All right, minus 4, negative 5x equals 5. Divide by negative 5 to both sides. X is equal to negative 1. Our final answer then is negative 1 and y is 2. All right, I hope that helps and have a great day.